Bom dia e bem-vindos ao 51º Festival de Inverno de Campos do Jordão, uma promoção da Secretaria do Estado da Cultura e Economia Criativa, administrada pela Fundação OSESP. O ano de pandemia trouxe muitos desafios para músicos e estudantes de música. Para o Festival de Campos do Jordão, o desafio foi a impossibilidade de trazer professores de fora do Brasil devido à crise sanitária. Para que a gente pudesse melhor atender os nossos estudantes, para que eles pudessem ter uma experiência de terem aulas com professores estrangeiros, então nós criamos esta série de 20 masterclasses com professores internacionais que são referências incontestáveis nos seus respectivos instrumentos, em todos os instrumentos de orquestra, também violão e piano. Hoje nós temos o grande privilégio de receber Joseph Alessi. Joe Alessi é um dos trombonistas mais célebres da atualidade. Ele é primeiro trombone da Orquestra Filarmônica de Nova Iorque, professor da Juilliard School, e ele também mantém a sua própria academia de trombone, a qual atendem estudantes do mundo inteiro. Joe Alessi virá ao Brasil, na verdade, em agosto, para ser solista da USESP, Orquestra Sinfônica do Estado de São Paulo, na estreia mundial do Concerto para Trombone e Orquestra de Chick Corea, o grande pianista de jazz que faleceu recentemente. Então, será uma estreia muito auspiciosa da última obra que Chick Corea terminou antes de falecer. Vai ser um grande prazer receber Joe Alessi. Nós teremos aqui a tradução durante a Masterclass, 3 dos nossos melhores estudantes. Boa sorte para todos, espero que quem está em casa também aprecie. Nós teremos um chat, ou seja, vocês podem mandar mensagens no chat do YouTube, e nós vamos passar essas perguntas para o professor ao final desta aula. Quero agradecer também a nossa pianista, Cecília Moita, que está acompanhando nossos estudantes em todas as masterclasses. Aproveitem, obrigado.
Hello, Mr. Alessi, is Anna here?
Yes, hello.
So we will, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say hello to everybody, and I'm happy to hear all the students today. It's a great pleasure. And I remember many years ago, our brass quintet came to the Campos do Jordão. We gave master classes, we did a concert, and it was a real pleasure. I remember that with great memories. So I'm very excited to hear everybody.
Olá a todos, bom dia. Estou muito feliz de poder estar aqui hoje. Eu vim para São Paulo com o meu quinteto há alguns anos, no Festival de Campos do Jordão, demos masterclasses, concerto, e eu lembro com muito carinho dessa oportunidade. Estou muito feliz de estar aqui hoje para ouvir os alunos do festival.
So, who is the first person? What is your name?
His name is João Marcos de Souza, and he will play Thomas's first movement.
Okay, very good.
João Marcos de Souza vai tocar o primeiro movimento do Tomasi.
Okay, bravo. Nice job.
Bravo, muito bem feito.
And you're playing for an audience. That's great.
Pareceu que você estava tocando para uma plateia, isso é muito bom.
I heard the audience.
Eu
Sure.
ouvi a plateia aí.
So, yeah, congratulations. So what I'd like to ask him first is I'd like him to give himself a critical report. So if he could talk about what he thinks he needs to work on, what about this performance. So he just performed the first movement. How does he think it went? What does he need to work on?
Okay.
Is he happy? Is he not happy? What is it exactly that he noticed?
Ok. João, eu queria saber o que você sentiu dessa sua própria performance, que você se deu jogue um olhar crítico e o que você acha que foi bem, se você gostou, se você não gostou de você mesmo tocando esse primeiro movimento, o que você acha que você ainda precisa trabalhar, o que você acha que está bom.
Primeiramente, olá para o Alessi, né, para o Joseph Alessi. Eu gostei da performance. O que eu posso melhorar é a segurança de tocar algumas células rítmicas que eu tive um pouco de insegurança e ter mais segurança de cada nota que eu estou tocando. Às vezes, por conta do nervoso, eu acabo ficando um pouco perdido em algumas coisas e eu acho que eu posso tentar melhorar principalmente a minha parte psicológica para conseguir ter a parte técnica um pouco mais firme.
So, Mr. Alessi, first of all, hello. And I liked my performance. I think that I still have to work on some rhythmic cells and work a little bit better on some notes because of my psychological status, because I get nervous. So I think I have to work more on that.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, we all have to work on our nervous problems. It's not just you. So.
Todos nós precisamos trabalhar na nossa parte de nervosismo, não é só você.
Yeah, but it's true that in order to be calm when you perform, you have to do many performances in life. So you have to continue to do, play for colleagues, maybe even do a Zoom live recital for your friends, so that you get used to being on stage. But I didn't notice you had any nerve problems.
Bom, eu acho que o nervosismo é comum a todos nós. Eu acho que isso vai melhorando ao longo da vida quando a gente vai dando mais performances, mostrando mais a gente tocando para as pessoas. Então, acho que você tem que tocar para os seus colegas, tocar, por exemplo, fazer um recital no Zoom para todo mundo. Mas eu não notei nenhum problema seu de nervosismo quando você estava tocando.
Yeah, but when you're nervous, it shouldn't change the way that you play musically. So if you know what you want to do musically, you should be able to do that regardless if you're nervous or not.
Então, só que musicalmente, se você sabe o que você quer fazer, o seu nervosismo não vai te afetar. Então, se você tiver essa consciência musical do que você quer passar com o instrumento, o seu nervosismo não vai te afetar.
Okay, now I have a list of things that I wrote down for your performance.
Eu tenho uma lista de coisas que eu anotei aqui para falar.
But in a positive way, I really like your sound. Beautiful sound.
Mas
Yeah.
no jeito positivo, começando por uma coisa muito positiva, eu gostei muito do seu som.
But you are correct. You have some rhythm problems.
Mas você está certo, você tem alguns problemas de ritmo.
Yeah. So specifically, at number 13.
No número 13,
Okay, number 13, you didn't understand what to do there rhythmically.
você não entendeu
So
o que fazer ali ritmicamente.
Yeah, that's very important with the piano. Is there a way for me to share my screen, or is that not? Oh, I can. Okay, great. Hold on. Let me show you where the issue is. Okay, so the issue at 13. Can you see this?
Yes, we are seeing it.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to move to 13. Oops. The music is sideways. Hopefully that's not. Okay, here it is. So here, this is so if you did this slowly at 13, da 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 dee da 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 da. So you know what this is called? You know what? I forgot. What's his first name again?
João,
João. Okay, João. Do you know what this is called in music here at 13?
João, você sabe como se chama isso musicalmente, no número 13?
Specifically, the third and fourth bar of 13.
Especificamente o terceiro e o quarto compasso no 13.
Contratempo?
Okay.
Contratempo?
Well, yeah, maybe. And we say hemiola. You know what hemiola is?
Hemiola, sabe o que é?
Okay, hemiola is you're in 3, 1, 2, 3, but now everything is divided 2, 2, and 2. So you got 6 beats, okay, but the music is divided 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what a hemiola is. Okay, so instead of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so you have to get used to that, and you have to play this with the piano. So actually, would you mind playing this with the piano very slowly at 13?
Vamos tocar com o piano bem devagar no 13.
Okay, so this slow. Da 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 dee, that's slow. Good. Stop. Okay, good. Yeah, the piano seems to be really loud still. We have to turn down the piano.
O piano
I
está muito
apologize.
alto.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it again, João. Do it one more time, and I want you to really accent the F and the E flat.
Nós
Okay?
vamos, então, fazer de novo. Eu quero que você acentue bem o Fá e o Fá bemol.
Mi bemol.
Mi bemol, sorry.
Yeah. good. Yeah, so you just have to be really sure and practice, this part slowly so you know exactly what to do.
Então
Okay,
você tem
still
que...
the piano's too loud.
O piano continua alto.
Yep.
Eu acho que... Então você tem que ter certeza do que você vai fazer aí e tocar sozinho, ensaiar, estudar bem devagar.
Okay, now, the second thing on my list is, your expression. Your expression is it's okay, but you need to be more expressive when you play the trombone, okay? And you can do this through, you don't really use a lot of vibrato, correct? I don't hear a lot of vibrato here in New York.
Então,
So that's a question for him.
Ok. Então, a gente vai trabalhar agora, falar da sua expressividade, que eu acho que você não está sendo muito expressivo, mas precisa ser muito expressivo no trombone. Então, eu queria saber se você usa vibrato, porque a gente não vê muito vibrato aqui em Nova York.
Eu costumo usar vibrato, mas é bem pouco, eu não tenho muito costume, estou ainda no processo de aprender a fazer.
So, I know how, I'm still learning the vibrato, but I don't usually use it too much. I'm still getting it.
Well, your playing is at a very high level, so it's kind of if you were my student, I would make it a priority for you to really learn and use vibrato, because it's a real missing element in your playing right now.
Então você
I think when you play this.
Você já está num nível técnico muito avançado, então se você fosse meu aluno, eu diria que aprender o vibrato e treinar o vibrato é a sua prioridade, porque isso faz falta quando você toca.
Yeah. How do you learn vibrato? How are you studying it?
Como você estuda o vibrato?
Eu costumo pensar o vibrato quando eu estudo, eu tento pensar mais a expressão do vibrato na mente do que propriamente no trombone. Tentar fazer isso, por exemplo, no trombone, eu imagino na mente como eu quero que saia o vibrato e eu tento reproduzir isso. Às vezes é um pouco difícil, mas é a única forma que eu consigo estudar naturalmente, assim, para não deixar o vibrato muito forçado.
So usually I work on the vibrato mentally and how I want to express it. And then I go to the trombone, but I don't know if this is very effective, but usually, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but this is how I usually study.
Yeah, but you really have to do a vibrato exercise every day.
Você precisa fazer exercício de vibrato todo dia.
Yeah, it only takes 2 minutes to do, so.
Só leva 2 minutos.
You create a waveform.
We can't see you, Mr. Alessi.
You can't see me? Oh, yeah,
We're
right.
seeing the sheet.
Sorry. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, there I am. Yeah, first you create a waveform. Okay, so you do that through mini crescendo.
Primeiro você...
Mini crescendi.
Ok. Primeiro você cria as ondas, e aí você faz isso criando mini crescendos.
Yeah, so we create that, put the metronome on. You can put the metronome maybe 60 or 50, 55, somewhere in there.
Coloca o metrônomo nos 55 ou 60 mais ou menos.
And you make these little miniature crescendi.
E faz mini crescendos.
So I'm doing this crescendo on quarter notes. 1, 2, like that. With the apex is on the beat.
Então eu estou fazendo os crescendos em semimínimas.
Yeah, and then we go to 8th notes. So.
E depois para colcheia.
Now, so I did 8th notes with the mini crescendo, and then when you go to triplets, then you start to move the jaw.
Então
Start to move the jaw like this. Only the jaw. And then you stop doing the crescendi. Don't do the crescendi anymore after the triplets. So it's only, you've created an example with the crescendo. Then you take away the crescendo, and then when you do the triplets, you start to move the jaw and copy the waveform.
Tá, então depois da colcheia, você vai mudar para tercinas. Só que daí quando você vai para as tercinas, você para de fazer o crescendo. Aí você começa a movimentar a sua mandíbula, do jeito que eu mostrei.
So I did the terzini, and now I'm going to do the 16th notes. See, and then it gives you another form of expression.
Tá vendo? E
But-
aí já te dá outro tipo de expressividade.
But you need to do that exercise every day to control the vibrato, with the jaw. That's how you control it. You don't control it with the embouchure, just the jaw.
Mas você precisa fazer esse exercício todos os dias, porque o vibrato você não controla com a embocadura, você controla com a mandíbula.
Yep. If you go to a Chinese restaurant, there's usually a fish tank. Okay? Okay? And you look at the fish. You look at the fish and you watch them and they look like this.
Quando você vai no restaurante chinês, você vê um aquário, você olha para os peixes e eles fazem assim.
Yeah. So if you want good vibrato, study fish, how they look.
Se você quer fazer um bom vibrato, então estude os peixes.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay,
Tô
but
brincando.
now the next thing that's very important is this issue of when you have a tie. Okay, so either a tie, so that means, I'll go back to the,
A próxima questão é quando tem uma ligadura.
so for instance, if you're doing something like right here, see this? This is a tie, okay? And it goes to the next beat over here, the next page, right here, okay? Many times when you play this kind of tie, you do not sustain into the bar line, okay, to the next bar, and then it doesn't have any expression, okay?
Quando você faz esse tipo de ligadura, você não sustenta ela até o próximo compasso, quando muda de página.
Yeah, so let me just show you what I'm talking about.
Vou te mostrar o que eu estou dizendo.
Okay, hold on. Trombone part. Okay, there we go. So, share this. Okay, so what I'm talking about is that, let's say at number one.
Número
So
1.
when you have number one, you have to sustain into the anytime you have a tie. So here's a tie, and you have a breath. You have a breath here, okay?
Você tem uma ligadura
So
e
you-
uma respiração ali.
But you don't sustain the note there. You tend to cut it short. Here's another one. A 4-3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3. Right here. Here's another tie. Okay. So what I would suggest is when you have the tie, especially going over the bar line, you always feel the beat. Feel beat 1 before you release the note.
Então, toda vez que você tiver uma ligadura que atravessa o compasso, eu sugiro que você sinta a batida da primeira nota.
So here's number 2. I'll
Que é
play.
o número 2.
So. So you have to really make sure he sustains those places. So
Então, você tem que se
here's another
certificar
one.
de que você segura a nota nesses dois lugares.
Here's another place, number 7.
Número 7.
Yeah. See, a note like that, note like this note here, the F sharp.
Uma
Right
nota
here?
como essa aqui,
Yeah.
o
See,
Fá.
what I like to do with a note like that is you play it, you do something with the note. So I did two things with that note. One is I increased, I made a little bit of a crescendo, and at the very end of the note, or towards the end of the note, I added the vibrato. Okay,
Então-
so there's two, for a long note, there's two important actions. One action is I increase the sound a little bit, just a little bit. After I do that, then I add the vibrato.
Então, uma nota dessas você tem que fazer. Eu faço, por exemplo, duas coisas. A primeira é que eu coloco um pequeno crescendo e no final eu coloco um vibrato, porque é uma nota muito longa.
So. And in addition to that, after I did the vibrato, I made a diminuendo. So I did three things on that note. That's what you call expression. Okay, expression is, not just taking a note and doing something with it. Do something with a long note. Just don't sit on it and do nothing.
Ok, então a expressividade, na verdade, eu fiz três coisas nessa nota, né? Eu também coloquei um diminuendo depois, no finalzinho dela. Então, expressar a nota não é só deixar ela lá e tocar do jeito que ela está. É, por exemplo, fazer três coisas nela.
Okay, thank you so much. Bravo.
Muito obrigado, bravo.
Okay,
So
so
now
there's another player?
Yes, so now we'll have Anderson Rodrigues. He's going to play Grandal's first movement.
Okay, very good.
A gente vai ter agora o Anderson Rodrigues, ele vai tocar o primeiro movimento do Grandal.
Hello, how are you?
Olá, como você está? Good.
Nice to meet you. Okay, Grandal?
mic is muted. Your mic is muted, Mr. Alessi. No.
Sorry.
Yes.
I think the man just touched the button for, and that changed the sound, but I think he should go back to the other setting.
Eu acho que alguém apertou o botão aí e mudou a configuração, mas devia voltar para o que estava.
Yeah, because that changed everything.
Porque mudou tudo.
Okay, let's start. Let's keep going at 6, number 6.
Continuar de novo do 6. Recomeçar do 6. Seis.
Sorry. Let's start at 4, number 4.
Ok, vamos no 4.
Bravo, very nice.
Bravo, muito bem.
Okay, so we'll do the same thing we did with Jiao. We're going to just ask, what's your first name again? I'm sorry?
Anderson.
Anderson, okay, thank you. Anderson, please critique your performance just now. I'd like to hear what you have to say first.
Então, vamos fazer a mesma coisa que a gente fez com o João. Anderson, o que você achou de você tocando, da sua performance?
Eu gostei. Ainda não é o que eu achei que iria sair, mas eu gostei. Eu ainda tenho muita dificuldade em tocar junto com o piano. A gente estuda, principalmente na pandemia, né? A gente estudou muito em casa, estudou muito dentro do quarto, fechado. E essa volta, e tocar para professores, tocar para amigos, e tocar com o piano, está sendo diferente e talvez um pouco mais difícil. Mas eu pude observar que eu tenho um pouquinho de dificuldade em montar as frases, ápice e crescendos, essas coisas. E eu tenho muita dificuldade nisso e acho que dá para melhorar ainda em questão disso.
So I liked it. It's not yet what I would like to have, but I liked it. And well, I think that I still have some difficulties playing with the piano because of the pandemic. We've been studying indoors and we haven't been performing much for other people except on Zoom. And now that we're slowly going back to normal, it's still a slow process. It's been a little bit difficult still. but I still think I have some difficulties with the phrases and the crescendos, so I think I can work on that.
Okay, good. So yeah, let's share the screen again, and we'll talk about what needs to be done. Okay, so nice sound again. I think you have some pitch issues that you need to deal with. Okay, so the pitch on the trombone is very interesting because if you think about all the other instruments, okay, like trumpet, tuba, these valve instruments, you know, I'm not going to say the pitch is easier, but they also have slides they have to use, okay? But the reason trombone players should have no trouble with pitch because they just only use a slide, so you can adjust pitch very easily.
Então, a afinação no trombone é uma questão engraçada, porque nos outros instrumentos dos metais, os valvulados, você tem as válvulas, os pistões, e você tem também a afinação na vara. Os outros instrumentos de metal também têm vara, mas eles também têm que pensar nas válvulas. Então, no trombone, em tese, não deveria ser difícil, porque a gente só tem a vara.
Okay, so I say easily. They should be able to adjust easily, but there's one big problem. The problem is we have a bell sitting there next to our pitch selector. Okay, the pitch selector is the slide.
Então a gente tem uma
is the main pitch selector. The other pitch selector is here, but you know the main pitch selector is the slide, and then we have bell right next to it. Okay, so if the bell is right next to it, we see the bell and we want to, no matter what, unless we close our eyes, we're going to use it's going to be a visual obstacle, okay, or a visual reference point, whether we like it or not, unless we close our eyes.
Então, a questão toda, justamente de fazer a afinação na vara, a gente também tem a afinação na boca, mas a gente tem a campana no meio do caminho. Então, por mais que a gente tente não olhar, a não ser que a gente feche os olhos, a gente vai ter esse obstáculo visual, que é a campana, no nosso movimento de afinação.
So I don't think you were touching your bell, but you were reaching out with your fingers to try to touch the bell because you knew the bell was there. Okay?
Então eu acho que você não estava encostando na campana, mas você estava movimentando os dedos porque você sabia que ela estava lá.
Yeah, so for all the trombone players who are listening, you know, it's really important to practice scales with your eyes closed.
Então,
practice scales as an exercise. This way you're not looking at the bell. It's very strange to practice this way, but the reason why you want to do this is because now I have my eyes closed, right? Here's B flat right here. Bum, 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 bum. Now this is exactly, I'll go higher. Beep, bum, 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 bum. So what it is, it's a distance, a way of finding the distance as it relates to your ear. It's a little bit like a blind person, okay, walking around the house, okay, and the blind person knows exactly where everything is.
Então eu acho que para todos os trombonistas que estão assistindo, a gente precisa estudar com os olhos fechados. Porque pode parecer estranho e vai ser estranho, mas é uma questão de você definir a distância quando você faz as notas, por exemplo, nesse si bemol. Então, é que nem uma pessoa cega andando pela casa, ela sabe exatamente onde estão todos os objetos. Então, para a gente isso é importante.
Yeah, so it's really measuring the distance with your ear, okay, and also the distance between your hand and your brain. Okay, the distance here is B flat. B, okay, now here's, oh, that's G, That's a certain distance with my eyes closed that I know is correct.
Então eu preciso, com os olhos fechados, ir acostumando o ouvido, a distância e o meu cérebro. E aí treinando as notas sem ver o que está acontecendo.
Yeah. Listen, when you play an instrumentalist has to have great intonation. Okay? So the trombonists are at a disadvantage. We are at a disadvantage because we learned to measure everything when we were young, when we started the trombone, touching the bell to find where third position is. I did this myself. But many students, they grow up and they still do this type of thing. You have to change the way you think of intonation on the trombone.
Então todos os músicos têm que ter uma noção, um conhecimento muito bom de entonação. Então, os trombonistas, claro, quando a gente é mais novo, a gente aprende a pensar nas notas em relação à campana e à distância da campana. Só que é muito importante a gente desaprender isso e se acostumar com a distância mental mesmo.
Okay. The next thing is what you do with the note before the breath. This you could write a whole book on, just this topic. The note before the breath.
O que fazer com a nota antes da respiração? Aí a gente daria para escrever um livro inteiro só sobre isso.
Yeah. So what I mean by that is in the first phrase.
Primeira frase.
So in bar number, hold on. The bars are not numbered here, but in the sixth bar.
No sexto compasso.
1, 2, 3, 4. So this note here, okay, that's C. How you release that note and how you release this note 2 bars later, right here, okay, that's very important, how to release the notes. So you can't just release it with no artistry. You have to have artistry when you release these notes.
Então, como que você solta essas notas? Como é que você faz essas notas antes da respiração? Você não só pode simplesmente fazer a nota, você tem que soltar o ar, fazer a nota com certa maestria. Né?
Yeah, so you have to distract people. So if you don't do anything, then people are just going to hear you breathe. What you have to do is the note before the breath. You have to do something interesting. Taper the note or add a little vibrato, even something to distract them. Almost like a magician does a trick, and they distract you, and then the trick is somewhere else.
Então, o que a gente tem que fazer é distrair a plateia, distrair o ouvinte, porque senão eles vão ouvir você respirando. Então, a gente tem que fazer alguma coisa interessante nessa nota, seja um vibrato, alguma coisa assim, para que, como se fosse um mágico mesmo, distraindo a atenção da plateia, para que eles reparem nisso e não na sua respiração.
Like that. So what I did there in those bars is I was trying to distract you and doing something very interesting with those notes. Okay, so in general, I think you have to be able to do that. Okay, now.
Então, eu acho que nesses dois lugares que eu fiz com essas notas, eu fiz alguma coisa bem interessante para te distrair justamente da respiração. Então, notas nesse tipo de compasso, você tem que fazer alguma coisa assim.
And the next thing that I noticed is in this bar. So let's see here. Hold on 1 second. I had one technical issue here. Okay. You can still hear me, right?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay, good.
The volume is a little bit low, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me increase that. How's that? Better?
That's good. Better. Great.
Okay. Okay. So the next problem is when you have 8 notes.
Quando
Okay.
você tem
Yeah,
colcheias.
anytime you have a bunch of eighth here, down here, you have a whole series of eighth notes. When you play the eighth notes, you're doing like this, one and one and one and one and one. And, okay, so when you do eighth notes, you have to think longer groups of notes, not just 2 and 2.
Quando você faz colcheia, você tem que pensar em grupos maiores de notas e não 2, 2, 2.
Yeah, so like that, like this. So, instead of this,
We can't see you. Mr. Alessi, we can't see you.
what's that?
We can't see you. Are we supposed to look at the sheet?
No, you're not supposed to see me now.
Ah,
I'm
okay,
just going to
sure,
play.
great.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear instead of this. It should be this. So just be careful when you do eighth notes that you're not pulsing. You're not pulsing. Not grouping them. Da 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 da. Okay, so be careful of that.
Cuidado com
Okay,
as colcheias, não agrupá-las.
Okay, phrasing after number 2. So let's just look at that. Phrasing after number 2.
Fraseado depois do número 2.
Yeah. So, oh no, there's no numbers in this one. Hold on, let me get a different version. My apologies.
Só um minuto, eu vou pegar outra versão, que essa daqui está sem números.
Yeah. I'll find a better one.
Vou achar uma melhor aqui.
Okay, this one had bar numbers. Okay, good. So hold on. Here we go. Okay, so on this one, the phrasing after, here we go. There's the big numbers too. Okay, so I have a thing about this. When you phrase this phrase, okay, in this bar here, bar 40,
Quando você
okay,
constrói a frase aí no compasso 40,
you took a breath after the F sharp.
você respirou depois do Fá sustenido.
Yeah, I have a problem with that, okay, because it's not a good way to do the phrase. You really need to take the breath here, okay, at the spot, and then you need to get to here for your next breath. So you have to use the composer's instructions. Con anima, okay, means faster, I would say, and this right here, tranquilo. Now, do you have tranquilo written at bar 40? Okay, so I'll let you interpret all that, sorry.
Okay. So, então aqui, por exemplo, você tem essa ligadura, mas você tem que respirar aí, não vai ter jeito, essa frase você vai ter que respirar aí, e daí chegar ali na outra respiração. Então, a gente vai ter que trabalhar nisso daqui com o que o compositor sugere. Então, está escrito ali, por exemplo, o con anima, que eu interpreto como mais rápido, e antes o tranquilo, né, que é mais lento.
Do you have tranquilo in your part,
Está escrito tranquilo na sua
Anderson?
parte? Sim. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so tranquilo, what you should do is come down dynamically right there.
Então você tem que diminuir a dinâmica aí.
That's a long ways to go, but to me that's the only way to play that phrase.
É um jeito meio complicado de fazer, mas eu acho que para mim é o único jeito de tocar essa frase.
Okay, and anyway, there's a couple other things. You know, when you go to the low E,
Quando você vai
before number three, this low E here. Okay,
antes do número 3.
you're a little sharp. You're a little sharp. So I always play this with the valve, because then you have more options. Okay, you can, if you're sharp, okay, you can easily pull out when you play with the valve, but not so easily if you're in 7th position.
Então aqui nesse sustenido, eu acho que soou muito, se você está soando muito sustenido, eu acho que aqui a gente pode muito alto, desculpa. Então acho que aqui você pode trabalhar na válvula.
And one other thing, you have to watch your pitch intonation before number 1. 1, 2, in these bars. 3 before number 1 and 2 before number 1. You have to watch your pitch. I wasn't watching you, I was watching the music. Could you play these bars for me, please? And just, I want to see how you do it.
Você pode tocar de novo do 15? From 15?
Just the pickup to 15. No piano, just
A entrada para o
trombone.
15 sem piano, por favor.
Okay. Yeah, good. See, that's out of tune.
Isso não está afinado. A afinação não
That's
está
not in
boa.
tune. That's not in tune. The reason why it's not in tune is because when you go out to 6th position, okay,
Quando você
you
vai para a
are
6ª posição,
you're sharp, and then when you
Você tá
when you go to the next note,
Quando você
you're
vai para a
all
próxima
you're
nota.
when you do the re bemol, you're also sharp because the do is sharp. Okay?
você faz o
So
ré
when you go to
bemol.
6th position, you don't go as far. So this is why I play this with the valve, okay? For this reason, okay? So here, let me stop sharing. You can see what I'm doing. So that, what that does is, C is right there. You're already in 1st position, and then you have a good pitch reference to go off of, if so. Bumpy, and then you have the pitch reference right there. But if you start off and you go out to 6th position, you could do it that way, but I think it's a lot of extra work, to be honest, so. If I did it that way, I would have to use the valve, and then that also adds more problems. So I think the best way to do this. Okay? All right, we're going to hear a little bit of this again, just a little bit. But I need you to really think about these things I talked about with the intonation, the vertical approach. When we talk about with the 8th notes, do not do vertical, but more horizontal.
Quando você fala de entonação, quando você fizer as colcheias, pensa não tanto verticalmente, mas horizontalmente.
Okay, so let's give it another try with piano.
Vamos tentar de novo agora com piano.
Sorry. Let's do that slowly with just the trombone.
Vamos fazer devagar só o trombone.
Bum, bum, bum. And when you go out to D flat, you're still sharp. You have to throw the slide out further. No, it's not. It's not with your tuning slide. No. It's not with the tuning slide. It's with your hand slide. It's with your hand slide.
Quando você vai para o ré sustenido, você ainda está tocando muito alto. bemol,
Go slow.
desculpa.
Let me hear it slow, without piano. No. No, you're still sharp on the D flat. Re bemol. Still
Ré
flat.
bemol. O Ré bemol está muito alto.
Yes. There you go. Yeah, good. But around, third position, when you play third position, it's always high.
Quando você toca a terceira posição, está sempre muito alto.
Yeah,
alto de
because of that
afinação.
problem. The bell is sitting right there.
O problema da campana, que a campana está logo ali.
Okay, good. Let's try the beginning now.
Vamos no
Very
começo agora. With piano, without,
Yes, with piano.
com piano.
Good. Better.
Melhor.
Yeah, now this last two bars you played is very, very treacherous, okay? It's very difficult on the trombone. But again, when you have the third position, when you have the fifth position, you just don't go as far as you need to go.
Esses dois últimos compassos que você tocou são bem complicados, eles são meio difíceis realmente de tocar. Quando você vai para a quinta posição é complicado mesmo, mas você tocou bem.
And also, I also hear some slide technique problems. Okay, so it sounds your slide is a little bit not coordinated, and maybe you need to wait a little more in the legato. So it sounds a little bit, we say slurpy, okay, slurpy in English, but slurpy is, it just sounds a little slippery, and there's too much portamento.
Então, acho que tem um problema técnico aí, que você ainda precisa trabalhar com a vara, na hora de movimentar mesmo. A gente fala em inglês que é slurp, que tem a ver com a ligadura, mas acho que tem que trabalhar melhor aí nos legados.
Yeah, so I'll play that part there.
Vou tocar essa parte então.
What makes that really hard, what makes that hard for technique, is the back and forth slide movements. Back and forth. I don't know how you say back and forth in Portuguese.
Para frente e para trás.
Okay, I'm going to learn that. But that's important. When you go back and forth like this, between two notes, this is where you're going to make a big mistake in the your technique.
A dificuldade aí justamente em questão técnica é quando você faz um movimento para frente e para trás.
Good. Let's go from pick up one other point. When you transition to before number one to number one, when you transition here, okay, you have to make it's like reading a book. You're reading a book and you're at the end of a chapter and it says, oh wow, that was a great chapter, and now you turn the page. Now there's a new chapter. When this is very true, two before number one, going into one. Okay, so change the story.
Então agora no 2 compassos antes do 1, aí é complicado porque você tem que pensar como se fosse um livro, né? Você terminou um capítulo, legal, e agora vira a página. Então você tem que contar a história aí pensando nisso, né? Na hora dessa transição aí.
See, there's a tenuto mark over the pickup to number one. Do you have a tenuto mark?
Você tem uma marca aí de tenuto?
Yeah, one note pickup to number one. So that's important to just change more your style, change your dynamic, change the tempo. Make a change. Make changes.
Legal é aí mudar o estilo, a dinâmica, o tempo. Faça alguma mudança aí.
Okay, I think we're out of time, but thank you. Bravo.
Já sem tempo, mas bravo.
Okay, is there another player?
Yes, we have Sabrina Pinheiro.
Is she the last player?
Yes.
Okay.
She's going to play David's concertino, first and second movements.
Okay. You might only have time for the first movement, but we'll see. Hello, Sabrina.
Oi, Sabrina. A Sabrina vai tocar pra gente o primeiro movimento, talvez o segundo do concertino de Davi.
I think Sabrina has played for me before, right?
Acho que a Sabrina já tocou pra mim.
Yeah, I remember.
Eu lembro.
Okay. Stop. Okay, so we have a balance point. Sabrina is not playing into the microphone, so I can't hear her as much. Yeah, you should play that direction, I think. Or move the microphone to where, yeah, if you can move the microphone.
Vamos ajustar o microfone aqui rapidamente.
There we go. Thank you. We can start again.
De novo da capa, por favor.
Good, good, good. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you.
Obrigada.
Bravo.
Brava.
Brava. Excuse me. Okay, good. Let's talk. And Sabrina, could you give me your, evaluation of your performance?
Sabrina, então você pode, por favor, dizer o que você achou da sua performance?
Então, foi interessante, só que eu fiquei tremendo muito, então meu ar estava muito inconstante, eu senti que eu estava um pouco descontrolada, principalmente nas dinâmicas, e em alguns momentos eu acho que eu passei do ponto em fortíssimos e etc. Então, eu queria estar um pouquinho mais estável em questão de ritmo, de frase e de dinâmica.
So I liked it, but I think I was nervous, so my air wasn't stable. So I think this stability, I liked a little bit of it in terms of rhythm and dynamics, some of the fortissimos. So I would like to have had a little bit more stability in my performance.
Okay, good. Let's talk about the nerves again, because this comes up all the time, and I understand about nerves, okay, but you have to practice so you perform. People talk about practicing. Practicing, yes, means, this is how I would practice this piece. Okay, so what I would do is that I would record myself and listen to things, and if they weren't clean, then I would practice those areas, okay? And then I would, decide about breathing. I would decide what alternate positions I'm going to use. I would also check my intonation, and also even take the piano part, okay, and practice and record the piano. Get the piano part into your digital audio workstation, your DAW, okay, and record on top of that so you can hear everything, how it lines up. This is how I would practice, okay? Now, once you do all that, after you do all that, then you have to practice performing, okay? And you still record it, but you're going to go from the beginning to the end, and you're not going to stop. So you have to really, really put the pressure on yourself like it is a performance, okay? This is why, anyway, we can't blame everything on nerves. We have to say, okay, even if I'm nervous, I need to know what to do, okay? I need to know what to do and how to do it and why I should do it that way. So when you're nervous, everybody gets nervous, okay? So I admit it myself, but you can't dwell in that problem. The problems are when you practice, you have to take, just like you take a jigsaw puzzle, you put the jigsaw puzzle together, and then at the end you take it all apart and you put it back together again, just for fun. Do it twice. And that's where you really learn, is if you take everything apart, okay, and then after you do that, okay, I'm going to perform this piece, and practice performing.
Okay, então...
Sorry, that's a lot of stuff.
That's okay. Então, vamos falar de novo de nervosismo, porque isso aparece bastante. Eu acho que, todo mundo fica nervoso, eu, claro, também fico nervoso, mas acho que não dá para a gente culpar sempre o nervosismo. Então, o que a gente pode fazer? Primeira coisa é estudar em casa gravando. Então, se gravar, aí ouvir de novo e parte por parte. E, se possível, também pegar a parte do piano gravada, ou pedir para alguém gravar e colocar, e aí gravar em cima da parte do piano, tocar de novo e daí trabalhar, melhorar o que você precisa melhorar, aí ouvir de novo, gravar de novo, e aí depois tocar para uma plateia, para alguém, e gravando de novo. Então, aí assiste de novo, ouve de novo, e vai fazendo isso aos poucos, e depois, quando você vai tocar para alguém, você vai tocar do começo ao fim. Então, é como um quebra-cabeça, você vai tirar todas as peças, montar. Aí, depois que você terminou, você desmonta, e aí monta de novo só de brincadeira. Mas, então, você tem que fazer isso, e aí... Quando você juntar todas as peças, o nervosismo vai estar mais sob controle.
Okay, so just to critique you a little bit further, your style, it's nice, but there's a couple things. I think everything is a little too long, Okay, so when you play shorter note values, they sound very long, almost legato. Okay, so I would like to see you go a little shorter,
Então,
a little bit more separated. Okay.
sobre o seu estilo.
So for instance here.
Então, sobre o seu estilo, eu acho que tá tudo muito longo. Mesmo as notas curtas estão muito longas, parece um legado.
So I hear you do this. But you know, David writes staccato, so I would go a little shorter. For my taste, I would have you play more staccato.
Então, na partitura está escrito staccato, então eu acho que eu iria mais para o staccato.
Yeah. The second thing is, in general, I'd like to see you do a more rhythmical approach.
Em geral, no geral, acho que gostaria de você ter uma abordagem mais rítmica.
So, like for instance, here you're playing with the piano. Here, okay,
Toca
at
com o
this
piano aqui.
spot, here, right here. So, can the pianist play what she has right there, please?
O piano pode,
This
por favor,
is-
tocar Where? Sorry.
Well, you have to look at the music. So the pianist, can the pianist see the screen?
Consegue ver a tela? Não. Where exactly? We can see your cursor.
Okay, all right. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right. Yeah, so it would be, so it's this part. Right there.
This one?
Okay,
So
it's
only the
between,
piano or?
Yeah, just the piano.
Só o piano, por favor. Isso.
Good.
Bom, tá bom.
Good, thank you. Yeah, so the
Obrigado.
the pianist is the music is very rhythmical here. So I think maybe you could go more precise rhythm. So
A música é muito rítmica aqui, então acho que você podia ter uma abordagem mais rítmica mesmo, mais precisa.
right? So just a little bit more precise would be
pouco mais
nice.
preciso seria legal.
Okay. All right. Now also just don't force. Play it. I feel like you're forcing a little bit. Okay. And as far as intonation is concerned, what you should do with the pianist is just tune a couple things. Okay. So as it relates to the chord. Okay. For instance, after letter C, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bars after C.
9
I would like the
compassos
pianist.
do C.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You can. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's okay.
After you. 9 bars after C. I would like her to tune the downbeat with the piano and just hold it. Okay, good. Okay, so there's, you have to understand right here, there's a whole bunch of problems that can happen on the trombone. Okay, and the first thing is Sabrina, what chord is the first note? I can't hear you.
I think it's a B flat major.
Yes, correct.
Yes?
So you have to, when you play the first note, you just have to play a little bit, a little bit lower, okay? But then when you go to the F, so on your trombone, or anybody's trombone, we all have problems, tendencies on the trombone. These tendencies happen on all trombones, okay? So the F partial, this F partial, these notes right here. Okay, so let me show you, oops, let me show you where I'm playing it. Look at my slide. So you have to be really careful of those notes. And I noticed, do you touch the bell, yes or no?
Tem que ser muito
You should-
cuidadosa com essas notas.
this
Se
is
você
the-
encostou na
Yeah,
cantora,
this is the worst thing you could do.
é a
Okay,
pior coisa
so
que você pode fazer.
because then you're going to get stuck in one way of playing intonation, and it's always a thing where you have to be very flexible around the bell. If you're not flexible around the bell, then that causes problems. So anyway, so in that one bar there, then you go up to the high B flat. You go up to the high B flat, and that note also has problems. So you really have to adjust, and what we call this micro-tuning or micro-tuning. Very small little adjustments that you have to make.
A gente tem que fazer esses pequenos ajustes, né? Microafinações, na verdade.
So, to be honest with this part here, I know that it's B flat major, so I'm going to pull out my slide just a little bit. Then I'm going to keep my slide in the same spot, okay, for F and B flat. The reason why is because F and B flat are going to be sharp on every trombone, okay? So I just start out right there with my slide a little bit out for the D because it's B flat major, and then I keep it in the same spot. Okay, so that's just how, something like that, how you would tune. But what I would suggest is you go with the pianist and you play you just take any big chords or you just go very slowly, like the first note. You play that chord and you tune, okay, at the letter A. Just tune that note. Okay, and then you may want to say, okay, I want to tune this note here, and then you find out where the intonation is. So just have, as part of your practice with the pianist, it's not a bad idea to just take specific notes and tune, just like you would do with the trombone section. Okay, you tune with the trombone section, the low brass section. Everybody spends a little time tuning and figuring out where everybody's pitch is. You got to do that with the piano too. Now the piano cannot adjust, so it's all your problem, So you have to make sure, hey, I want to make sure I'm exactly in tune with the piano, and take time to do that.
Então, acho que você tem que trabalhar com o piano, né? Porque o piano não pode afinar, ajustar a afinação. Então, você que tem que trabalhar nisso. Então, fazer essas afinações, microajustes, como uma orquestra mesmo, afina. Sempre que tiver um acorde muito grande, principalmente.
Okay, let's just do a little bit from the beginning.
Vamos de
Let's
novo do
start
começo.
just four before
With
A,
piano.
and try it again. So
With-
not so long let's go more staccato. Thank you.
With piano or not?
Yeah, yes, with piano.
Com piano, por favor.
Okay, stop. Yeah, see, that note is sharp. I'd like you to just play this note and stop measuring. See, you're measuring right now, Sabrina, you're measuring. Bring your fingers, yeah, there you go. Don't measure. Okay? Let's play E flat and just the first note with the piano. good. Now let's start. Good. Okay. Now I want you to. That was the E flat was perfect that time, but you have problems with intonation. So when I work with my students at Juilliard, I call myself the intonation police. Okay, it's really I am. Okay, they don't like me, but I don't care. So I'm always messing around and trying to get their intonation correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or after A, sorry, after A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 after A. I would like you to play that note with the piano. The C bemol, Do bemol. Yeah, so did you think it was a little sharp, a little high? That's what I heard. Yeah, you need to make it go, yeah, so we have to make sure it's, so your B flat is here. Those can you just play those notes? Play.
Pode tocar só essas notas.
There you go. Good. Let's start right there with the piano. Bon, da, dee. Good. Okay, good. Bravo. Much better. But here you're forcing. So everything was sounding nice, but right there you forced. So, draw. Probably too loud, but right there, right at that point, right there is where you force. Let me just hear that.
Aí você tá forçando,
Just trombone only.
só o trombone.
No, you're forcing. When you go to the high B flat, when you do the high B flat has an accent on it, correct? Yeah. So you have to let the note, you go for the note, and then you relax the note. Okay, so like this.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, I had to turn that down. I do that because otherwise it gets too loud when I play. But yeah, so when you go to the high B flat, you go for it, and then you let the note relax a little bit. Can we try that?
O si bemol é
Trombone. Yeah, just trombone.
só o trombone.
Yeah, go the bar before it.
Compasso antes.
Pa-pa-pa-da-pa-pum. Better. Yeah, so you just got to get this cleaner right here.
Deixar isso mais limpo.
Can I just hear that da-dum-pum-pum?
Posso ouvir só isso?
No. Just do only what I asked, right here.
Só o que eu toquei.
That's it. You got to get that really clean and not forced.
Muito bem, isso ficou super limpo e não forçado.
Then you go for the high B flat, but you let it relax.
Você vai pro si bemol alto, mas você relaxa.
Let's go from the same place we did before with the piano. Bum pa ti to 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 ti to. No, that's sharp again. You're high. Good. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Yeah. You still have to work on beep ba ba. It sounds a little bit rough. Da 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 ba ba. You should be more relaxed, and it sounds. You also might want to try it in. You might want to try it in fourth position. So.
Pode tentar a quarta posição. So
What's that?
It's the fourth position that is making her sound a bit forced. She can't hold
But
it.
right now she's playing in the first position, right?
First, before she was doing it in the first position, now she's doing it in the fourth. Oh, first she was doing it in the fourth, and now
Okay.
she's trying in the first to make it more relaxed.
Yeah, but, okay, well, you should record yourself. This is how you decide, okay? Everybody has to record themselves to decide. And you try it both ways, and you see what sounds better.
Então, isso é o que você tem que fazer. Você tem que gravar. Isso é como todo mundo deveria fazer, né? Se gravar e aí tomar a decisão do que fica melhor para você e o que soa melhor.
Yeah. Recording yourself in your practice sessions is something is very painful. I don't like to listen to myself either, okay? But it's really, really valuable so that you can make the correct decisions. Okay, you can't make those decisions playing the trombone. You have to sit back and listen, and then you can make the decisions.
Eu sei que ensaiando sozinho é horrível se gravar. Eu não gosto de me ouvir, realmente é difícil. Mas é o único jeito que você vai ter de ouvir o trombone, porque tocando o trombone você não vai conseguir tomar essas decisões. Você precisa ouvir.
Okay, brava.
Brava.
Okay, so now we went overtime, I think, right, or not?
Nope.
What was the timing on this class? I can't remember.
We go until we still have 45 minutes.
We do?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. And we don't have any other players, correct?
No other players, but I think we have questions.
Okay, well, maybe.
Yes?
Sorry, Mr. Alessi. We don't have to go until for another 45 minutes, but we still have 45 minutes left. So you can hear another movement, or we can have some questions that people are sending.
Okay, well, Sabrina, you had the second movement, right?
Sim, você tinha o
So
segundo
maybe
movimento.
we'll go back to Sabrina. Is it Sabrina, right? Do I have
Yes.
have her name right?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah, Sabrina, we'll continue and do a little bit more, okay?
Então vamos continuar
So
com a Sabrina, o segundo movimento.
I liked your cadenza and except.
Eu gostei da sua cadência, mas
Yeah, except the very beginning
O comecinho.
of the cadenza. So the pianist went dun, da, 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 dum, 3, 4, dun, da, 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 dum, 2, 3, 4, bum. So the bar before you play, you can do a ritardando, okay? You can do a Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I can't hear.
Yes. So piano is a tempo, so we were doing a tempo. Before the first note from the cadenza, piano is a tempo. There is no ritardando. So you would like me to add a ritardando there?
Yeah, but when you did it, you did too much. You waited too long.
Quando você fez, você esperou muito.
Yeah, so you could, what I would do, dun, dun, negative down, 2, 3, 4, dun, negative down, 2, 3, 4, bum. So just a small ritardando, and then you play.
Pequeno retardando.
Let's do this.
E você toca.
Let's do this with the piano.
Com o piano.
Good. Now let me just say a couple things. Okay, so okay, when you have the slur, okay, you have the slur, and then you have two non-slurred notes after. You can't make it all legato. You have to make contrasto, right? Is that?
Fazer contraste. Contraste.
Yeah. So you have to make that. Yeah, and then. Another thing, two things you should try. So let me pull up the music.
Duas coisas que você pode tentar. Vou colocar aqui a.
Two things you should try with the cadenza. Okay, so we have the cadenza, and this, boom, boom. Okay, so in the cadenza. So you right here, I think your rhythm is wrong. There's different editions, but I like to play dee da 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 da, then play da 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 dee da. Okay, I think this. If you do the same rhythm twice, it's not really interesting. But most people play it the way I sing it. I think that's correct.
Se você fizer dois ritmos iguais, vai ficar muito. Né?
Yeah.
A maioria das pessoas toca como eu estou sugerindo, eu acho.
Sound like this. The other thing you should try is when the pianist goes just before the bum 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 bum, try coming in earlier, even as the pianist is playing that little section. So can the pianist just play right now? Bum 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 bum.
O piano pode tocar só aí.
Yeah, so come in even before she ends.
Então entra antes dela terminar.
Try it. Yeah, sooner. Come in a little sooner, so even she's still playing, you come in.
Quando ela ainda está tocando.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, but change the rhythm. Dee da 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 da. Not da 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 da. Right? One more. got to go, Sabrina, don't be afraid to play it more staccato, okay? It's getting
Não tenha
very
medo de
long
tocar mais
and
staccato.
yeah, so here it's just, you're doing the, no, no, no. Okay, can you try that?
Pode tentar isso, por favor?
Just right there where I played? Good.
Sorry, I got confused, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah, so when I practice co-prosh ever? No? Let me get out of this mode here. Hold on. You don't practice co-prosh?
Você não estudou
Okay. See,
Cultura?
all my students have to do that. I had to do that as a student. So that's what you're missing, I think, in your practicing is you know, they have these exercises. Little exercises like that, where they have groupings of something that's slurred, okay, and then the staccato. You know, Philip Smith talks about that too. He grew up playing cornet solos, you know, and old style cornet solos, and you know, when he sees a slur, he makes a really good slur. After that, to make contrast, he makes a nice staccato. Okay, it doesn't have to be secco here, but you need to make a difference. I don't hear any differences when you play that cadenza. Right? You do it one more time?
Pode fazer mais uma vez, por favor?
Good. You still got to watch your mi bemol. It's very high. Okay,
Prestar
now
atenção no mi
let's
bemol.
go on to the next section. So we'll start directly at your entrance
Na próxima sessão, diretamente quando você entra, na sua entrada,
with piano.
com o piano.
Você pode fazer um antes também?
We're going-
Okay, good, bravo. Bravo. Now, okay, I got a list of things here to talk to you about.
Uma lista
Okay.
aqui.
You have to be more rhythmically accurate with ba da 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 dee da 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 dum. This is kind of a problem. You're not being 100% accurate sometimes.
Precisa acertar a
Speaking of
rítmica.
rhythm, the morendo at the very end, you have to slow down. So da 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 dee da da dee dee dum 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 bum 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 dee bum 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 bum. So allow it to slow down, but please don't play 30-second notes. Play 16th notes. D 1 2 3 bum 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 bum, and then the pianist can go faster. The last note, you have one bar to go. You had one bar left, so you have to make sure you go all the way. At letter E.
Na letra
Letter
E.
E, it says piano dolce. Okay? You're supposed to play dolce not just here, but in this section. Okay, the whole
Você tocar
section.
dolce não
I
só
felt
aqui,
you,
mas na sessão inteira.
yeah, I felt she was too loud, too strong, too,
Você estava
you know,
tocando muito forte,
needs to
muito
be,
alto.
it needs to be più dolce. Sorry, go ahead.
From this
Okay,
section.
and also,
Or-
yeah, so and then when you get close to the high B flat after letter E, it's okay, you can open up. You can open up, that's fine. Okay, the biggest problem, Sabrina, is your intonation. Your intonation, it's all around third position. Your notes around third position, okay, are basically high. And then you really have a problem when you start at 4 bars after E. So I'd like to have the pianist play the chord 4 bars after E without the trombone. If you could play that chord, please.
Por favor, o piano 4 compassos depois do E.
Okay, now, so, thank you. Sabrina, what chord is that?
Sabrina, que acorde é esse?
Don't tell her.
Não falem para ela.
Eu acho que é maior, mas eu não parei para pensar. I think it's major, but I'm not sure.
Well, it's very important. Okay, so okay, that's okay. At low brass class in Juilliard, everybody has to know what the chords are in the score. Everybody. So I will ask the student, you know, so-and-so, hello, what chord is that? I don't know, you know, so you have to really, really know. This is A flat major, La bemol major, okay, so major. It's very important that, okay, so this is perfect example of if you just look at the bell and you put the slide near the bell, you know, you're going to be wrong because you have to lower that C, okay, and you have to be flexible around third position. And, you know, not just in the same place every single time. You want to translate that, please?
Não, acho que no, I think she understood everything. I think we're good.
I know. Did the audience understand?
Não, que a questão toda aqui é fazer a transição porque se você, Sabrina, ficar muito na terceira posição com a entonação, você tem problemas aí. Então você precisa trabalhar nisso.
Okay. Let's
Na afinação,
identify.
exatamente.
Let's identify one other chord. So
Vamos-
the pianist, if you could go backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars and play that chord.
Se o piano pode voltar 4 acordes, 4 compassos e tocar esse acorde.
No.
Here.
No. Yeah, right here. sorry. I made the mistake. I
Desculpa,
made
eu
the
fiz um
mistake.
erro.
So it's before letter E. One,
Antes da
two,
letra E.
three. Yeah, before letter E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 compassos antes da E.
Yeah. No. No, just no. Just hold the note.
Só,
Just play the downbeat and hold it. Thank you.
só segura o acorde. Toca a nota e segura.
Yeah. What chord? Okay, what chord is that, Sabrina?
Minor. I don't know.
É,
No, not minor.
The first one,
Yeah.
it's major.
What name?
Maybe E or G major.
No,
I
yeah,
didn't-
G, Sol, yeah, for sure, Sol major. So again, if you know the score, everybody has to take the score, look at the score, and identify what these
The
notes are.
function
If
that
you
I
have the
had to
major
play.
third, you got to lower it.
Okay, so I'm
Got-
playing the first grade sol, the tônica, eu não sei como fala tônica. É, tipo, no caso eu toco a tônica e eu tenho que estar com ela bem clara na minha cabeça de um acorde de sol maior. Acho que seria isso.
so she's just, I do have to play the fundamental there with the,
I start with the fundamental, the G, so I had to have this clear in my mind to have a right intonation. It's what are you talking about?
Yeah, well, let's have the pianist play the bar before, right there. Dee, do, do, do. Start the bar before. So right here.
It's the é a terça maior.
third major, is it?
Yeah, let me get the, hold on. Square up. Yeah, hold on one second.
Só um minuto. Com os trombones baixos lá na Juilliard, eu sempre coloco eles para ouvir os acordes, eles têm que dizer que acorde é esse, que acorde é esse. Então, e eu sou conhecido como o policial da entonação. Os alunos não gostam disso, mas eu não me importo. Eu faço isso mesmo.
Okay, I'm just looking it up here, so. Anyway, yeah, it's really important to know, what the chords are, so I'm just looking it up and showing the audience what it is here, so. I don't want to take too much time, but. It's 4E, right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's just G major. G major.
Sol maior.
It's so yeah, so the first note dee da, then there's right there at that moment dee da, it's C minor, okay, and then
Do menor.
back to G major dee da da da. So you got
Do maior.
bom 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 be da 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 dee. So again, you have to lower the major third. That's all. Just when you have a major third, you're going to
Tem que
lower.
abaixar a terça maior.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this with piano.
Fazer isso com piano.
Good. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it again, please. One more time.
De novo, por favor.
I was low in the first one.
Good. Thank you. Much better. This makes a world of difference, okay? When you play high C, the high go, you are sharp, you gotta lower it. So. Make sure it's low. And also, those notes are staccato. Okay? Lift. Lift on each note. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's go 4 before letter E.
4 antes do E.
Good. But I want you to put big spaces between.
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum. Big space and hold it back.
Bom,
Hold it back.
você coloque espaços grandes entre as notas.
Yeah, I can hear.
We can't hear you.
Right, that's it.
Isso aí.
Hold it back. Try it with piano now.
Segura
Same
e
place.
toca com o piano agora.
Good. I hear a very large airplane.
Muito bom. Tô
Is that a
ouvindo
large
avião
airplane? Was
gigante.
that?
It was a helicopter, I think.
Wow. Okay. All right. So bravo. Yeah. So I know I spent a lot of time on intonation, but you have to understand three things about intonation. One is around the bell. Okay. Around the bell. Be careful. Don't just look at the bell and put the position next to the bell. 1. 2. Know the chords. What are the chords you're dealing with? Are you dealing with the minor chord, a major? Do you have the root? Do you have the fifth? Do you have the minor seventh? Okay. 3, know the tendencies of your instrument. All trombones have problems like high C, high B flat, E flat, mi bemol, mi naturale, F naturale. All these notes have problems. You have to make the adjustments.
Então, eu sei que eu trabalhei muito com entonação, mas é que isso é muito importante. Então, você tem que ter 3 coisas na cabeça quando se fala de entonação. Primeiro, o trabalho em volta da campana, né? Não ficar encostando e saber onde estão. Você precisa saber os acordes, se é maior, menor, se é terça, qual que é. E as tendências do seu instrumento. Cada instrumento tem as suas tendências e você tem que saber quais são os perigos aí.
Okay, bravo.
Brava.
Now you're really done. You're done now.
Agora você realmente terminou.
Yeah.
Tá liberado.
Well, I really look forward to visiting
Obrigado.
soon. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Muito ansioso pela visita, vai ser muito legal. Mal posso esperar.
I'm excited to play for you, sir, personally.
Yeah, great. I can't wait. All right, so we have some questions now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Alessi, thank you so much. Eu vou perguntar primeiro aqui para as pessoas que estão aqui na sala. Tem alguma pergunta vinda de vocês? Sim? Então pode falar.
Eu posso fazer a pergunta em inglês ou em... Ok. Tá. Hi, Mr. Alessi, it's Rafael here.
Oh, I remember, Robert. How are you? Good to see you.
Good, very good. Good to see you. Good to see you too. So I'd like to ask you about the technique, the slide technique. How do you think to do, for example, a F scale, the movement when you open the slide and you have to play a natural slur without the click? So it's something basic, but I think it would be very good for you to explain this to us.
Yeah, good question.
Just a second. May I translate? I will translate to Portuguese, sorry.
Yep.
A pergunta que eu fiz pro professor é como ele pensa para fazer a ligadura. Eu gostaria de falar um pouco sobre o legato e sobre as ligaduras. Como ele pensa para fazer o movimento quando ele está tocando, por exemplo, uma escala de Fá maior e precisa fazer o movimento da primeira para a quarta posição, do Fá para o Sol. Como que ele pensa para fazer esse tipo de movimento para tirar, por exemplo, os cliques que aparecem aí? Ok, thank you.
Yes, good question. You know, as you know, I like to use the natural slurs in my playing. And there are many other players around the world that use the natural slurs. I would say I use these natural slurs, 95% of the time. Sometimes I'll use a tongue. So, for this type of slur, you could always use a tongue, okay? But, I think it's important, though, to learn how to do it correctly without the tongue. So, it's kind of hard to explain how I do it, but basically, the air, the way that I do the air, it's different, okay? So, if I were going to go sol to fa, okay, my air would just continue. And I wouldn't have to think anything about it. But when I go fa to sol, I call this against the grain slur. Okay, now, against the grain, what that is, it means if the sun is over here, okay, and your grass on your, the grass, little blades of grass, they're going to grow towards the sun, okay? So, and if you have a ball, okay, and you roll it on the grass against this grain, it's gonna slow down, okay? You're gonna have some resistance. So you have to cross over into the sol, from fa to sol, in the correct way. So if you blow directly into the note, this can be a problem. So what I like to do is ease up on my air just slightly. Just slightly, so that there's not this click. Okay, so I practice this.
Can I just quickly translate the first part?
Sure.
Então, eu geralmente gosto de trabalhar com ligaduras naturais, 95% eu diria que eu trabalho com elas, mas às vezes realmente precisa usar a língua. E aí, como que eu faço o ar? Quando você vai, por exemplo, do sol para o fá, o ar pode ser contínuo, mas aí quando você vai do fá para o sol, é como se você estivesse indo contra o grão, né? Que é como se fosse contra a grama, exatamente, como se tivesse uma grama e você joga uma bola e ela vai contra o crescimento em direção ao sol da grama. Então, tem uma resistência, né? Você precisa de uma força maior aí para cruzar para o sol. Então, soprar direto pode ser um problema. O que eu faço é tentar usar o ar sutilmente para evitar o clique.
Yeah, so fa to sol is very difficult. Okay, so you have to practice that over and over, just like that, very slow, maybe metronome, half notes. Okay, but it's very delicate when you blow into that note, and that's the key word. You want to be delicate. You don't want to be forceful. You have to let up on the air just a little bit, just like if you're in your car. You just when you want to shift a gear with the old style shifters, okay, you have the clutch, you put the clutch in, okay, and then you release the gas, okay, you change the gear, and then you release the clutch, and then you put the gas on very gentle, not very fast. So it's a very delicate procedure.
Então, do fá para o sol é sempre difícil. Então, o negócio é colocar o metrônomo, tomar cuidado com as mínimas, e tocando as mínimas, ser muito delicado, não forçar, e usar o ar levemente, como se fosse realmente uma mudança de marcha de carro. Você não pode soltar a embreagem e acelerar de repente, você precisa ser muito delicado.
Yeah, so like in the beginning of David,
Começo do Davi.
I use the fifth position. I use the fifth position, B flat, and you have another of those types of slurs, so G to B flat, and anyway, so that's how I do that. But you don't want to blow directly into it. The air has to be gentle, and even just slightly slower air at that precise moment.
Então, por exemplo, nesse caso, no começo do Davi, na quinta posição, quando eu vou do sol para o si bemol, eu uso o ar sutilmente, né? Ele precisa realmente ir mais devagar, precisa tomar muito cuidado aí.
Does that answer your question? I hope it.
Isso responde a sua pergunta, Rafa? Isso responde a sua pergunta, Rafa? Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Another question? Sure. Another question?
So we have a question in the chat and on YouTube.
Okay.
Gostaria de perguntar ao professor se ele faz algum tipo de exercício ou fundamento com os alunos usando afinação justa, non-temperate tuning.
So I would like to know if you use any kind of exercise with the students using non-tempered tuning.
Yeah, that's another question, but that's a very interesting question. But to be honest, I don't like to confuse the students with this. So the way I do intonation is several ways. One is each student has to learn the scale correctly, okay? What is, the scale, when they play their scales, they have to sound correct. They have to be the right distance between the notes to make them correct. Okay, and each student has to find that. Of course, I will influence the students how I play my own scale, okay, and the way I like to hear it. So, as far as playing with the piano and not with the piano, I basically teach the students the intonation by correcting them, like we're doing today. I correct them, I show them how it should be tuned. So I don't get into this whole thing about tempered and non-tempered tuning. I avoid that really just because I find it confuses the students. And to be honest, it confuses me also. So I just go by the way it sounds to my ears, and I bring what I hear to my students, and I teach them that way. So if something doesn't sound right, I correct it, I show them where it should go, and then they learn it. They learn that new sound just by that way. That's how I do it.
Então, eu não gosto porque eu acho que eu evito confundir os alunos. Eu acho que todos os alunos precisam aprender a escala, as distâncias corretas, e eu acho que eu tendo a fazer isso mostrando como eu faço, como eu toco as escalas. Com ou sem piano, eu ensino sempre corrigindo, né, do jeito que a gente fez agora. O aluno toca e aí eu mostro, e é assim que eu vou mostrando como afinar. Eu acho que é muito confuso se não fizer desse jeito, e acho que eles precisam aprender desse jeito. Se não soa bem, é um problema. E aí eu corrijo e daí a gente trabalha nisso. So we have one more question.
Sure.
So we have a question from João, who played earlier.
A minha pergunta é, assim, sempre quando a gente começa a estudar uma peça nova, o ideal é que a gente procure saber a essência da peça, o que o compositor quis escrever, em que ele se inspirou para escrever a peça. Só que quando não tem muitos registros na internet, no Google, quando não há registros da peça, como que podemos fazer para conseguir interpretá-la de uma forma melhor?
So when we learn a new piece, we have to really, I think, understand its essence and what the composer wanted and his or her inspiration. But sometimes we cannot find that too many examples on the internet. So how would you suggest that we interpret the piece? How do we perform the piece if we don't have these examples?
You mean, I don't quite understand the question. Are you talking about examples from other players, or?
Isso quer dizer exemplos de outras pessoas tocando.
Dizia acerca daquela peça, tem compositores que eles deixam claros a inspiração deles, mas tem peças que não há esse tipo de registro que os próprios compositores deixaram. E quando não há esses registros, como que a gente pode fazer para fazer uma interpretação melhor? Isso.
So he means on the sheets, you know, when the composer didn't leave any suggestions or indications of what to do or how to play, what do you think? How do you suggest that we interpret and we perform that?
Well, usually good composers will put enough information on the sheet so that, you know, it's very clear what to do. So, I mean, in the David, I think it's pretty clear what he wants. You know, now that doesn't mean you can add out your own interpretation to that. Okay, and you should. Now, in the case of this Chick Corea trombone concerto, you know, first of all, I have in my lifetime had the opportunity to premiere new works, and this is also another opportunity, great opportunity. So, when that happens, the performer, if you're premiering something, you're a little bit at a disadvantage, a little bit, okay? And the reason why I say that, because, you know, you're the first interpreter of the music, okay? So I'm interpreting this music for the first time. Anyway, what a great honor. But you're at a disadvantage. And in the case of Chick Corea, you know, he wrote dynamics, but his orchestrator did a lot of that as well. You know, so he did finish the piece, but, you know, some of the details the orchestrator had to fill in. And I'm also filling in some of those myself. So, you know, and I'm being a little freer with my interpretation, you know, because I think actually Chick Corea wanted that. He didn't want to put too many dynamics in there, and he wanted to leave that up to the performers.
Ok.
So anyway, that's how that's happened.
Ok, bom, eu acho que bons compositores sempre colocam as informações suficientes para quem vai tocar. O Davi, por exemplo, é um bom exemplo disso. É bem claro, mas não significa que você não deveria colocar também um pouco da sua interpretação. Vamos falar, por exemplo, da peça do Chick Corea, que eu vou tocar com a USESP. É uma super oportunidade, por exemplo, de estrear. Eu já fiz várias estreias na minha vida, mas quem toca tem uma desvantagem. Claro que tem a vantagem de você ser o primeiro intérprete da música, é uma honra enorme. Mas, por exemplo, no caso do Chick Corea, ele colocou as dinâmicas, mas uma boa parte o orquestrador que colocou os detalhes. E claro que eu também estou colocando algumas coisas que eu acho, mas eu tenho mais liberdade, eu estou sendo mais livre, porque eu acho que o Chick Corea gostaria disso, queria isso. Ele não colocou muitas dinâmicas ali, então eu posso interpretar um pouco disso também.
Yeah, and you know, there's other pieces that maybe by young composers, I've seen this, where they don't put enough information in there. You know, they don't put, there's just not enough. And so, you know, it's important when you have something like that, that you actually see that and you say, okay, I need to make these phrases more interesting. So to make a phrase interesting, I tell all my students to pick maybe one note in each phrase that is an important note and circle it. Okay? You know, so you go through the music and you say, okay, which note do I think is the most important note here? And what can I tell harmonically that's going on so that you can find that one note? So that's very important, to identify a note that you need to focus on, and everything grows to that note and away from it. And I think that's important. So it's up to the performer to really go over that in the score, not just the trombone part, but look at the whole score and even have the pianist play the music for you so you can listen to it at home, and then you can figure out, hey, how you want to phrase the piece.
Por exemplo, a gente tem jovens compositores que não colocam informações suficientes. Então, nesse caso, eu acho que a gente precisa olhar a partitura, e a partitura não só a parte, e tornar as frases mais interessantes. Então, o que eu faço, por exemplo, sugiro para os meus alunos? É olhar a frase inteira e ver qual nota que é a mais importante ali, que ele acha que é mais importante, ela acha que é mais importante, e circular. E aí, pensar o que eu posso fazer harmonicamente com essa nota, em torno dessa nota. Acho que a gente sempre tem que identificar a nota que é o foco e trabalhar em torno dela. E a gente precisa realmente sempre ver toda a partitura, não só a parte do trombone, e, se possível, pedir para o piano gravar também, para você ouvir em casa, e ouvir e trabalhar sobre isso, como que você gostaria, como você acha que poderia tocar.
Nós temos uma outra pergunta que veio pelo chat, do Leandro Conte. Ele pergunta quais consoantes que ele usa para articular legatos e tenutos, se é o R, o D.
So we have a question from Leandro Conte, and he asks about which consonants that he should use to articulate legatos and tenutos, if R or D or what?
Yeah, so I think, the question is, you know, when I use my legato tongue, what is the consonant? That's a very good question, because they have to create a new letter in the alphabet for this.
Eu acho que essa é uma pergunta muito interessante sobre que consoante usar na hora de fazer a ligadura, né, com a língua, o staccato.
Yeah.
Então, eu acho que o problema aí é que a gente precisa inventar uma consoante que não existe.
Yeah, so like when I teach it, I basically have the student concentrate on the vowel. The vowel is, first of all, more important to me than the consonant. I know that sounds very strange when I say that, but you know, the vowel has to stay active all the time when you're doing legato. So I have the student start out singing, then add the consonant. Now, what is that consonant? It's not ta, for sure. It's not da, okay? And it's something else. I would say it's a combination of a D and an N together. If you could say D and N together, that's what it would be. So when you do that consonant, you know, a consonant is usually something that, you know, you go to a certain place in your mouth, ta, da, something like that. But in legato, it's more of a brush. You're brushing the roof of the mouth, And that's why it's very hard to describe exactly the consonant that it is. So D, I think somewhere between a D and an N, if I had to describe.
Então, é uma boa pergunta, porque eu acho que, na verdade, o foco aí é concentrar na vogal. Eu sei que isso soa estranho, mas a vogal precisa estar ativa o tempo todo. Então, eu sempre peço para os meus alunos cantarem e, então, colocar a consoante. Certamente não é um T, certamente não é um D. Eu acho que é mais ou menos uma mistura de um D com um N. Porque o que acontece? Quando você faz a consoante com a sua língua vai para algum lugar específico da boca. E quando você, nesse caso, quando você faz o legato, você precisa passar a língua em algum lugar da boca, ela não fica parada lá. Então, por isso que eu acho que é complicado, mas eu acho que é entre um D e um N. Mr. Alessi, would you have time for one last question?
Sure. And then I have something I'd like to just show. After that, I'd like to have just show the audience one thing, very quick.
Não é melhor ir direto para o que ele quer mostrar? Não sei.
Pode ser também.
Não sei como vontade tem.
Não, pode ser. Pode ir direto para o que ele quer mostrar, pode falar para ele.
Tá.
Não precisa.
So we'll just go straight to what you want to show, and then if we have time afterwards, we do the question.
Okay, I just, I just wanted to let everybody know that I've been working on this project for a long time now, and I'm not trying to sell you anything here, but it's something I'm very passionate about, and now we have about 1,100 subscribers. So, and this is my practice studio site, okay, and just so you know what's on there, okay, we have my warm-ups right here. We have many tutorials, okay, lots of tutorials. Unfortunately, it's not in Portuguese. I wish it was, but I believe it's in Italian, if that helps. We have my recordings of different excerpts. You can practice with an orchestra, many of lots of repertoire, standard repertoire. We got duets. You can play duets with me. We got my ideas on arbands. Once a month, we have a webinar that you can join in on and you can play for me. We have Ask Questions and all the answers. If you want to practice your tuning, there's drones for tuning, which I play. Some old recordings of myself. And here's lots of music for trombone and piano. So up here, we have all this repertoire you can practice with. So if I click on trombone and piano here, well, wait, I'm not on the actual site, but anyway, there's lots of stuff you can practice with trombone and piano, and then there's some other exercises here that I've recorded and showed you. So anyway, just wanted to show that it's a kind of a passion with me, and it's very inexpensive. If you're a student, it's $25 a year per year, so it's a good deal, I think. But I wish I could offer it for free, but my colleague and he's put a lot of time into it. So anyway, it's something that I will continue to add to for maybe for 20 more years. So that's it. I just wanted to say that.
Ok. Eu queria mostrar para vocês um projeto que eu estou desenvolvendo. Eu não quero vender nada, é que é realmente uma paixão minha agora e já está com 1.100 pessoas inscritas. É o meu site de estudo, tem técnicas de estudo, aquecimento, tutoriais. Infelizmente ainda não tem a versão em português, mas tem italiano, talvez ajude. Tem gravações de excertos, tem repertório, duetos. Tem um webinar uma vez por mês, e aí você pode tocar para mim. Tem questões de afinação e coisas com trombone e piano. E, bom, eu não estou aqui para vender nada, que realmente é uma paixão para mim. E custa só $25 por ano se você é um estudante, e eu acho que é um valor bem justo. Eu gostaria muito de oferecer de graça, mas o meu colega botou muito trabalho nisso, então E eu acho que eu vou continuar colocando coisas aí pelos próximos 20 anos, então acho que é isso que eu queria mostrar para vocês.
And one last question?
No, I think we'll wrap up
Okay.
for today.
Very good. Very good. I want to congratulate the three players. They did an excellent job.
Quero dar os parabéns para os 3 músicos que tocaram hoje, fizeram um excelente trabalho.
They really did, and I was happy to work with them, and I look forward to meeting all of them in person.
Foi muito legal trabalhar com vocês, fizeram um excelente trabalho e eu estou muito ansioso por trabalhar com vocês em breve pessoalmente.
And I want to thank the foundation also for inviting me to do this, and thank you for the interpreter, and also the pianist, and it was very nice. It was really a nice time. Thank you.
Gostaria de agradecer à Fundação pela oportunidade, à intérprete pela tradução e à pianista por tocar também. Muito obrigado, foi muito bom estar aqui com vocês hoje.
Nós que agradecemos, Sr. Alessi, pela sua generosidade e por todo esse conhecimento que compartilhou com nossos estudantes.
We are the ones that should be thanking you, Mr. Alessi, for the opportunity to have you here sharing your knowledge with our students.
Parabéns a todos os estudantes. Muito obrigado à pianista Cecília Moita e à tradutora Ana Kei Capaz.
Thank you all, and see you next time.
Em português, né? Para todo mundo que está em casa assistindo, muito obrigado pela audiência. Amanhã, aqui no Festival de Campos do Jordão, às 10h30 da manhã, nós teremos uma masterclass de violino com Lívio Prunaro, que é o Spala, o primeiro violino da orquestra do Royal Concertgebouw de Amsterdã. Não percam, que vai ser muito interessante. Obrigado e até amanhã.